Hello there and welcome to a week starter guest segment on the Breakfast Connect show right here on Africa Business Radio. Today, our journey is taking us to South Africa. Now, for South African consumers, the shift from bricks and mortar shopping to online retail has been quite slow. Although half the population has access to the internet and mobile services, online sales, according to reports, account for mere 1.4% of retail purchases. But that seems to be changing, as according to other reports, online sales will grow almost 3 times as fast as in-store sales in the period 2018 to 2023. Well, what's the e-commerce situation in South Africa at the moment? I've got Thembani Biyam. He is the CEO Orderin. He leads a highly talented 120-plus person team across strategy, logistics, product, engineering, key account management, marketing, customer service, finance, and HR. He's also responsible for organizational design and fundraising. Hello, Thembani. Thank you so much for joining me. Good morning.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's get right into the conversation now. Prior to the global health crisis, we have noticed obvious trends that e-commerce in South Africa is indeed gaining ground. What more can you tell us about the market trends as it concerns e-commerce in South Africa?
Well, it's really difficult for us to go back to 2018, 2019. It seems like a whole lifetime ago. But I'd just like to take us back then, particularly in South Africa. You know, e-commerce was still a buzzword. It was still, very frequently spoken in different boardrooms because I guess at the time we were in boardrooms. And now there's been a dramatic shift. I think most of the top retailers in South Africa have decided to build their own channels or to partner with different e-commerce services. And it's really taking off. You mentioned 1.4%. Multiple different reports would suggest that it's a lot higher than that. Oh. And it's just because COVID has really changed or amplified the way that we've always wanted to transact, which is faster, more convenient, and quicker to your home.
Right. So I came by this report from Accenture. And that report indicates that brick and mortar stores generate all retail revenues and profits in South Africa, while the online operations are expensive to maintain. It noted that they are also unprofitable because there's usually this difficulty in measuring the return on investment of their online offering. So I'm just here thinking, what approach retailers, to yourself in South Africa are taking to building e-commerce businesses?
I really sympathize and empathize with retail CEOs. It's hard. You've been investing so much money in infrastructure for so long, decades and decades of infrastructure, so that you can provide the best possible service for customers to walk into your stores and get what they need. And then this massive wave comes along, which I think for a lot of CEOs, they've seen it coming. Yeah. But imagine another few decades of investing in a whole new infrastructure. And so I think that's part of the problem. If you think about the way the industrial revolutions have worked in the past, you need a big upfront investment in, for instance, oil companies had to invest a lot of money to dig oil just so that we could have the energy we have today. It was the same with the internet, massive investments in internet infrastructure just to get to the internet that we have today. And so for retailers, it's pretty much the same. I think what we are looking for in our CEOs and our leaders is the courage to really take that leap and think the next couple of decades ahead and say, we're going to invest the infrastructure we need to invest in.
Right. Now, just before we take this to how, it affects ordering and what you do, how do you think the wider economic impact of COVID-19, how do you think all of this will shape the retail landscape in South Africa going forward?
We did, we do our own analyses and we triangulate a lot of data points. And from what we've gathered, COVID has accelerated forecasts by anything between 3 to 6%. I mean, I'm talking about, potentially if Middle Eastern Africa, let's make it a little broader. Okay. Middle Eastern Africa was estimated to do about 11, 12% in e-commerce. That is jumping to maybe 14 to 16% just because of COVID. And again, it really depends on the numbers that you're looking at, but these are our estimates. So you can imagine a situation where everyone's in lockdown, everyone's at home, families, you have to feed your kids and you have to work and you have to be a part-time teacher. The necessity is I need to get my goods and services coming to my home or to my office. And so what COVID has really done is it's amplified this need for convenience. And particularly in South Africa, a lot of businesses have started to react to that. There's, particularly in the grocery space, you might have heard of Checkers 6060, Pick and Pay, ASAP, Woolworths Dash or Woolies Dash. The top 3 major grocery providers all rushed in 2 years to build this infrastructure. Right. So COVID has really, really amplified the need for faster goods and services from online purchases.
Right, and this brings me right to Orderin. It is South Africa's first and original food delivery app. Before we talk about your relaunch as a service platform, tell us the market needs identified by Orderin and why this pivot was necessary.
Yeah, I think to fully explain the market needs, we have to do a little bit of soul searching and go back in history.
Okay.
A lot of people would say we're in the 3rd or the 4th industrial revolution. It doesn't really matter which one you pick, but I think we gotta look at the evolution of how this stuff works. In the first industrial revolution, the steam powered engine was really the thing that set it all on fire. It helped people to start producing newspapers. It was the telegram was born, coal power was born, railroads were born. And so infrastructure had to be built at that particular time to serve a certain need at that time. The internet has changed the needs, right? So we've moved from newspapers to telegram to telephone to TV. And we're now in an internet or a digital age where customers, the first need that customers have is, I would like to do things as quickly as possible. Right? I want to do them on my phone. I want to be able to order stuff wherever and whenever I can. And I would like for it to be simple, convenient, and fast. I think that's the first big need. And the reason why this need came about the same way that it did in the first industrial revolutions is because consumers are adopting these technologies. I think the second need then is on the retailer side, because then they have to react, and so the need for retailers is, wow, how do I react to this need from customers? What do I do? I've invested decades of money into brick and mortar infrastructure. What do I do to serve my customers in this new age where they want things faster? And so I think that's the second big need is from retailers. How do I get the talent? How do I build the infrastructure to serve our customers? And then I think the third big need is really around that actual infrastructure. Like, how do you put that infrastructure in place as fast and to the quality that your consumers need it to be put together? And the retailers are really struggling. This is where Orderin comes in. And so what Orderin has done is, historically, we were a food delivery app like Uber Eats. I think that's the easiest example to use. And we had the infrastructure for food delivery and delivering goods and services under 30 minutes. We decided to basically take that infrastructure and allow multiple different retailers to use that exact same infrastructure to power their own channels.
Right. So is that what the relaunch was about? Talking about the delivery as a service model now?
Exactly. So just to give you an example, Pick and Pay, which is one of South Africa's biggest grocery, or actually just biggest retailers, they acquired a company that is helping them with their grocery app. And in that process, customers can order their groceries online. The trick is, how do you get those groceries to those customers under 1 hour?
Right.
That's where we come in. We have the technology. We have a delivery platform that we built ourselves, 100% owned. We've built it over the last 4 years. And what it does is it plugs into the Pick and Pay app and it connects delivery partners, drivers, who can then fulfill these grocery orders for you or for anyone else who's ordering groceries from Pick and Pay. That's just one example of one of our clients.
That makes sense. That's really great. All right. Now, I mean, when you talk about relaunching or adding value to a particular business, you also want to look at how it's also affecting the society. I'm talking based on job creation now. So what positive implications does this model have concerning job creation in South Africa?
I think one of the biggest things that everyone is concerned about when we start talking about this, digital age or this digital revolution that we're in, I think everyone starts getting nervous about, what does it actually mean for work?
Exactly.
If everything is going online, what does that mean for those jobs? If automation and AI and all these buzzwords that are coming out. What we realize though is there's a different infrastructure that's needed for online business. And so what we do, just to come back to that example, if Pick and Pay is onboarding a large percent of their customer base and moving them from brick and mortar, walking into stores and buying groceries, to using their app, you can imagine how many delivery partners or drivers you need to be able to do all those orders. Essentially, you're saying, don't go to the store, wait at home, and someone's going to come and deliver your groceries for you, or your fast food for you, or your fashion for you. And so what it's meant is thousands, literally thousands of jobs have been created for drivers who are now being able to deliver these goods and services under 1 hour or 60 minutes. But for them, it's great because they are all entrepreneurs who are making a good living off a whole new industry that's spawning up. And so for us, the social impact is we are actually creating a whole new ecosystem with a whole new set of employment. And we estimate that tens of thousands of jobs will be created over the next 3 years.
The numbers are looking good already. Well, let's talk about partnerships now. Did that have anything to do? Did it contribute to the success of this model?
I think it's imperative. It's part of the fabric of this model. Again, if you think about the way the internet works, it encourages social behavior, right? So, we're all on social media. I guess African Business Radio is a network or an ecosystem of people. It's the exact same thing when you do online business. What Pick and Pay requires is many partners that can help them with different things, with the technology, with their delivery. And so we pride ourselves in being able to partner with our clients. One of our other big clients is McDonald's South Africa. And for McDonald's, we've built their entire online channel, their app, their in-store technology. We're doing their delivery, their customer service, their digital marketing. And so the power of that partnership as well is just as important. I'm only talking about a few of our partners now,
right?
But the idea for us is really everyone should have access to this infrastructure. It shouldn't just be for big retailers. It should especially be for the small businesses. And so coming back to your question, you can only imagine the type of network of partnerships we'd have to be able to create to help SMEs to be able to offer the same services as big retailers.
Well, obviously, Orderin is indeed a very big player in the e-commerce industry in South Africa. What is your long-term projection, both for Orderin and for the country, the economy as it concerns e-commerce in South Africa?
This topic or this challenge we talk about is a global challenge. We've spoken to majority of the big retailers in South Africa, but we've also started speaking to a lot of players outside of South Africa. And what we realize is everyone is trying to solve the exact same problem. If you look at what's happening in India, if you look at what's happening in China, particularly in the USA and Europe, there's a lot of businesses that are trying to solve this problem. And so for us, our mission, which we were very proud of and we believe in 100%, is to build the infrastructure for the future of commerce. That infrastructure should not be only for South Africa. It should be for any market that requires the infrastructure to operate online. And so thinking about our future, really what we believe in and what we want to be able to do is to power tens of millions of SMEs, as well as retailers. And to do that, our job is to build an infrastructure that everyone will love and be able to use, that can help everyone do deliveries in under 1 hour, or to do same-day deliveries for their businesses.
That sounds great, Thembani. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll have to wrap up this conversation at this point. You're doing great things, really. And just before I got into this interview, I thought, well, I mean, why don't we have Orderin here in Nigeria? So I'm hoping that amongst your long-term, plan, that might also be to extend or spread your wings to other African countries as well.
It definitely is. And I'd encourage anyone who's listening and anyone who enjoys your show to maybe go to www.orderin, so orderin.co.za, orderin.co.za, and have a look at our services. I think what you'll see is what we're building is something fundamental for every market.
Great.
And so we'd really hope to come to Nigeria and multiple other markets in Africa soon.
Looking forward to that. Thank you so much for joining me on the show, Thembani Biyam. I've been speaking with Thembani. He is the CEO Orderin. Thank you once again. And I do hope you'll be available for further conversations around this.
Thank you.
All right, it's still the Breakfast Connect show on Africa Business Radio. My name is Rachel, and I will be right back.